I mean, I don't
Help
know.
me out here. We don't have
Please.
paint in the.
We do have paint. It's a matter
No.
of applying, and after they view the income, that's when they
No,
go through
this
the
is
whole
this
paint
is
process.
everybody in this room said that the inspector says
Ms.
they do
Lovell?
have the paint. I'm gonna come in, and I want you to be aware that I'm gonna come once again.
Yes.
Please don't forget my case.
Okay.
That I'm doing
I want you to
this.
come. I want you to
Please.
apply. And she says it's income based. If you're telling me that you're disabled
I am.
and you haven't worked, I don't see why you wouldn't be eligible for the program. But you need to take the necessary steps. You need to come in and then you
I have
need
done
to
it.
file for it. Okay.
I've done it, Your Honor. But I want to make sure that you know that I'm going to go again. Everybody here is my witness that I'm showing up again. If they tell me that I don't have any paint
Take the name.
of the I
Of
did
the
it last
person.
time. I did it.
Okay.
I'm not going to come back to you with the name of the person that told me no.
Ask for a supervisor. Speak to a
Please,
supervisor.
and
Speak
don't
to
forg-
two people. Okay.
Please don't forget that we did this. We made this deal today. Please.
We made a deal. Okay. No.
No. You know that I'm going to go. But
Okay.
I want you, please, not to forget that Evia Lovell is going to go.
All right.
Don't forget my name. And
I-
as far as the other issue,
We're not gonna touch. We're not gonna touch it.
Okay.
It's a touchy subject for you. I
very
understand. We're not
touchy,
gonna touch it.
because I don't. If you want to come inside my property, you have to. If you are inspect and says anything about my property, it has to be from my property, not the
Okay.
neighbors.
All
It's
right.
my house.
No problem, Ms. Lavelle.
How
Thank
long
you for
are you
coming.
giving me? No.
I'm giving
Before
you
I leave.
30 days.
Now, in these 30 days, before I leave, I'm sorry I'm being.
That's okay.
But
I want you to be clear and
I
sure of
wanna
what
be
we're
clear.
doing here. Yes.
I have 30 days to come back with the paint and the property painted and the fascia and the walls. In those 30 days, you won't give me any fine, right? I won't have to.
Correct. I'm tabling this for you to give you an opportunity to get the paint, put in your
Without fine,
application.
without giving
Yes.
me any
Yes.
fine.
If you come back in 30 days and tell me you haven't done anything, then you
No.
know,
Yes.
then we're
Then you have
I'm
to
going
also
to
write-
adjudicate the case
Okay.
and you're going to start accumulating
Those
fines.
are my fines. That's what I wanted to make sure.
Okay.
And about the other subject, what are we gonna do?
What other subject?
No, so no more subjects.
I'm not talking about that right now.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
The next item on the agenda is item number 44, Jean Magny. The officer is Monica Frederick. The permit number is CEODS 2014-00075.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Gene Magny, M-A-G-N-Y.
Okay. You're the owner, correct?
Yes.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good
City
evening.
of North Miami, Monica Frederick. This violation is for outdoor storage on the property. A citation notice was issued to the property owner and mailed out on April the 8th. I went back out to the property to view if the outdoor storage is still in violation, and he has not complied. I have pictures.
Okay. Is this your property, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand the violation?
It's, first of all, one day there was a couple officers came to my door and knocked on the door. There was a couple cars, old cars parked in the front of the house, and they told me that I need to remove the cars, and I did remove the car, and maybe 5 days later. And one of the officers said that these things here, which was some tile I put underneath of the carport, and he said that those tile might need to be removed also. And I told him that, okay, I'm going to need to use the tile for some repair I need to do inside the house. And he told me, okay, if you remove the cars within 5-10 days, you can keep them there. And I called her, and I told her what the other officer says. And I left a message for her. She called me back, And she said, okay, I'm coming back. And if the cars remove, been removed, so we should be okay. But the tile is for the, I don't see no problem. She's talking about furnitures and stuff. There's no furnitures there. It's tile and maybe a couple other things that I need for the house.
Okay, when you say you need them for the house, are you doing work in the house
Yeah,
currently?
I'm gonna change the tile. I'm gonna put the tile inside the house.
Okay, do you have another area on the property where you can store these?
I think the carport is the proper place to put to store the tile.
They can't stay there. Do you have a garage?
No,
Well,
that's
I'm sorry.
If I would yeah, you're right.
Carport.
Yeah.
Okay,
The carport is my garage.
okay. There's no place out of sight in the back of the property, anywhere that you can store this?
You can't like, I can't put them inside the house. This is the best spot to put them.
If it's being used currently.
And on top of that, if you can see, there's a truck parked in front of them.
Right.
I don't even know, because
But I can see it
the other
clearly.
two-
I see your truck, but it's not blocking anything.
the other two officers told me that once you remove the two lousy cars who was parked in the front, you'll be okay. So
What other two officers are involved in this?
He's referring to Edmund Fitzgerald, and when I
Yeah.
spoke to Edmund that day, Edmund told me he didn't know what I was talking about.
yeah, somebody told me that. I'm not lying. And I'm
Okay,
I'm
the
trying to
question
do-
only is how can you get this removed within the next 30 days?
They cannot be removed until I got the job done. Those tile, they're heavy.
I'm
And
sorry?
They're heavy. They're
Okay.
very heavy tile. If you try to remove them, where am I going to put them? I'm going to try to do the work within maybe next few months before the year's over. But it's when you look at the picture.
I am looking the pictures, but they're being stored on the front porch. I mean, the carport. They can't stay there.
Okay.
I'm trying to give you some room, and you're tying my hands. You're telling me that by the end of the year, that's not going to work.
But look,
I'm asking you whether there are any other place that you can put them, and you're telling me, well, I don't want to put them inside my house. I don't want to put them here or there. I'm just going to adjudicate it. I find in favor of the city. I find that the violation does exist. I give Mr. Magny 30 days to resolve the violation, and I will impose a daily fine amount of $25 per day. Thank you, sir.
I'm not very happy with that.
Understood, sir.
Anyway, let me just say this though. You guys have to go, there's some other things you guys need to do on the area, because the city went besides the tile she's talking about, the yard. If you look over there and see my yard, it's destroyed. Why? Because they messed up my sprinkler. Why somebody don't send me a letter for that?
Who's they? Or what are we talking about, sir?
The city. They was
Okay.
doing the sidewalk and they messed up the sprinkler.
Have you made contact with the city and informed them of what's
No,
happened?
y'all should have been. You should have seen that and take the picture of the front of the yard look.
I'm not the city. You're saying you in terms of I should have done it?
Oh, that's not a part of the city.
I'm not the part of the city. I'm a special magistrate, and I hear what the city has to say, and I hear what you have to say. But
Yeah.
I'm not going out there and taking pictures. The city has to present its case. If they don't present a good case, I will dismiss it.
Okay.
Okay? But if you have something that you need to deal with the city, you need to go there and talk to someone. Okay, ma'am, you didn't sign in. What is your name? Say that one more time. Mimos Etienne. Is that the last case? How about the two gentlemen in the back? Do you guys have a case here? Yeah. Okay. Do we have them? I don't know because they didn't sign in. Okay, you guys did not sign in. Come forward. Come forward.
The notice you received, what was the name?
You mean
The notice that we sent you, what name was on it? The property owner's name?
number 21110?
With a T?
ETN. E.
ETIENNE.
That's the first name?
Last name.
Last name.
First name is TOLEME.
Yes, okay, I see it. That's number 95.
Okay.
Everyone else can please come up here. So item number 95, tolling Etienne, Wayne Clark is the officer, CEBMP 2014-00029.
Wayne Clark City, North Miami Code Compliance. This case was, I think, was before already in reference to on closing the side, I believe, a west side door, and also a rear porch area of the property. To date, I don't see where it's in compliance. I do have the printout from the building department, which states the status of the permit process. And it tells that on April 7th, it was denied for building. And ever since April 7th, there has not been any more action on this property as far as whatever demands that the building department is asking them to do or adjust with the plans. So right now it's stagnant. Like the resubmit the prior photo of the property in which I could see. If you remember, I said I couldn't see the rear of it. I could see it with the naked eye, but I couldn't take a picture of it because it was not clear. So I'd like to resubmit the photo showing the defendant first, and also I would like to submit the current file from the building department showing exactly where they are with the permit process.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't heard anything since the last hearing from the owner who's present, the co-owner.
Ma'am,
Yes,
do you understand the violation?
understand.
Okay. Nothing you need to add?
Actually, I'm waiting for the architect to give me the plan back. I gave it to him, but he said he's kind of like busy, crowded. He have not issued it back to me. In order for me to issue it back, send it back to City of North Miami, I have to have the plan back, but I don't have it. I'm waiting on him, and once he give it to me, I'll reissue it back to North Miami. So.
Well, take it that it's been since April 7th, so we're looking at about a couple of days. We're looking at almost 60 days to where nothing has been done. And it's solely up to the homeowner to keep in contact with their contractor and keep up on the business with the city through their contractor and make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, it's on the owner and you, Your Honor, on what's going to transpire
And
from here.
I have done so, but if you have given it to me, so how could I issue a plan back if I don't have it? And I have contacted the architect. What you want me to do if he doesn't give it to me back? I'm waiting.
I find in favor of the city. I find that the violation does exist. I will give Ms. Etienne 30 days to get this process moving, get it done. Otherwise, she will start accumulating a daily fine amount of $20. I'm sorry, I meant to say $25.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here.
The next case is item number 80, Osiris Ibanez. Officer Alan Graham, the case number is CEBLR 2014-00026.
Sir, state your name for the
My name is
record.
Osiris Ibanez, and I'm the owner of the property.
Okay.
Again, good evening again, Alan Graham, City of North Miami Police Department Code Enforcement. This is a new case that I opened on April 28th for the property at 1915 Keystone Boulevard. The property is owned by Osiris Ibanez and Domingo Ibanez and Ismilia.
My parents.
Okay. Ownership determined by a check of the Dade County property records. I cited the property for not having the house address permanently affixed to the exterior wall of the house as required by Section 5-19 of the city's code. The house has been under some remodeling
Yes.
for some period of time, and there is a temporary house address number at the front of the house on the ground on a board. I took a picture of the house, and you could see the number 1915 on the ground on the board, and I took this picture yesterday and I'll present that as an exhibit. Well, I understand that that there is construction still going on, and it has been going on for some time. The city's position is that the property owner does have a responsibility for meeting the code and to permanently affix the house address numbers on the exterior wall of the house, which looks like it's finished at this time. I'm glad Mr. Osiris is here today to give an explanation on the status of the work that's going on at the house and to indicate at what point he will be able to permanently affix the house address numbers on the exterior wall facing the street. And I thank him for being here tonight.
Sir?
Well, I'm here because here it says it has to be between 3 and 5 inches, and I wanted to know if I just need to put them that size on that board, but now he's telling me that they need to be fixed on the house. The reason I have that board is I still have open permits on the house, and I still get stuff delivered. And when you go into Keystone, it's hard for them to find that address. You know, they get lost in there. So I put that big board in there with that address so that when they delivered the pavers and all that, they knew where to go. But
I
I
mean,
will go
there's
ahead and...
nothing keeping you from having both. You still need to affix
No,
the
I will
numbers.
put numbers. I didn't know exactly from what's written on here. It says that the numbers were too big, and I just didn't know exactly, you know. He explained it now that he
Okay.
wants them fixed on the
Because
house.
it sounds like an easy enough thing to fix. I don't want to, you know, get it fixed and get this case dismissed.
Do I have to remove the big board?
No, sir.
No.
Okay.
No, we're just...
I mean, that's my main issue because...
Right. He's not asking you to do that. He's
Okay.
just asking for you to affix the numbers
Okay,
on the wall.
Yeah.
And you can have both if that's what you wish to do.
for right now, it's ugly, but I need it.
Okay. So
but,
I'm giving you 30 days. Get it done.
I have them done Saturday morning.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your
I
Honor.
get paid on Friday. Thank you.
The next case is item number 87, Robert Humbles. Alan Graham is the officer. The case number CEBMP 2014-00042.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Robert
Your name?
Humbles, owner.
Okay.
Again, for the record, Alan Graham, North Miami Police Department, Code Enforcement. On March 6, 2014, I inspected the property at 13255 Arch Creek Terrace. The owner of the property is Robert Humbles and Gabriella Humbles. Ownership determined by a review of the Dade County property records for the property appraiser's office. I noticed that my attention was directed by complaint from a neighbor to the pool deck area where I did view it appears to be a storage shed installed on the pool deck. The shed is within the side setback area of the property, and I did a review of the building department's permit records and noticed that I did not see any kind of a permit for a storage shed in the permit files as required by the building department. I did take photographs on March 4th to indicate what I had seen, and I'd like to introduce these into evidence at this time.
Okay.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, this appears to be a storage shed that's on the south side of the property.
Correct, yeah.
On the pool deck.
Correct.
Thank you. According to the Dade County records, it appeared that this house was purchased in 2010, on or
Around
about
that.
August or the
Around
summer
that, yeah.
summer of 2010. It may be that the property owner is not aware of the city codes requiring a building permit for installation of sheds, but it is a violation of Section 5-60 of city codes. I did not have contact with Mr. Humbles before today's hearing. All we are interested in is seeing that the city code is complied with, and we were glad to give Mr. Humbles ample time to contact the building department to obtain the necessary permit for the shed. And that way it would be legalized on the property.
Right.
All we would need is just some time frame from the property owner to indicate how long he needs to be able to apply for the permit and legalize the shed.
It looks like it's well constructed, doesn't it?
It appears to be a sound structure and just needs to be approved by the building department.
Right. You understand, sir?
Yeah, I didn't get a permit because it's Home Depot Rubbermaid. It's plastic. You just piece it together. I store my kids' toys in it.
It
It's-
may be that the building department will, the building official may say there is no permit required, but not being able to go on the property to physically view it and touch it and feel it and see what it was constructed of.
Okay, because it looks like
Mis-
part of the structure. It almost looked like part of the house.
No, not
Like
really.
it was,
no.
okay.
I mean, I went to the city. I didn't ignore this. I just haven't had time. I went down there twice, and every time I go in there, there's like 30 people in there. And
Yeah, it's time consuming. Okay, so do we want to table it, give him
I would
30
recommend that we table it now that Mr. Humbles has indicated to me what the kind of material is constructed of. It's a Rubbermaid,
correct.
hard plastic, I will check with the building official and see if a permit is required.
Okay.
And if not, I'll close the case and notify Mr. Humbles of that fact. If I
Okay.
find that a permit is required, I will also notify Mr. Humbles, and then he can take the necessary steps. So, yeah, I have no objection to tabling the case for a month.
Okay. You understand, sir?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I've pulled permits for everything on the property I've done to date, and I just didn't know I needed it for that. So, we'll see what happens.
Understood. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm sure you can't wait to run. Me? Oh, not me.
You want me to go ahead and call this?
Yeah, give them an opportunity to come forward. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
The next case on the agenda is item number 4, Adrian Arismendi. Vidal and Christie is the officer. Case number CEJNK 2014-00017.
I don't even know what this is. Okay. Vidal and Christie, Code Compliance, City of North Miami Police Department. This is a new case in regards to junk on the property. The property was sent certified mail with no return. The property was posted with notice on the 21st for this hearing. I have not been able to make contact with the property owner. I do have pictures for the record.
Sure. Yes.
Good night.
Okay, so it's everything that's being stored.
Yes, there's a few things in the rear, but it's hard to get a picture of. And those are all visible from the street.
Mm-hmm. Good, because we don't want another situation like we. She said you don't have the right to take pictures from outside her house. All right. And what did you say about service?
Yes, notice was posted on 5/21, and the certified mail was also sent. We have not received a green card back.
Okay. All right. I find in favor of the city, I find that the violation does exist. I find given proper notice, the homeowners have failed to appear. I will hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 per day with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
Next case, item number 2, Alan Graham is the officer, 1930 Northeast 118th Road LLC, case number CEWRA 2014-00013.
For the record, Alan Graham, Code Enforcement, North Miami Police Department. I have been sworn. I have an affidavit of service for the notice to appear for tonight's hearing, which was posted to the property on May 24th, 2014 at 10:40 a.m.
All right, reviewing the affidavit of service dated 5/24/14.
On February 12th, 2014, I cited the property at 1930 Northeast 118 Road with a notice of violation for violation of Section 5-19B3 for failure to permanently or have affixed to the rear of the house the property address numbers facing the canal. as required by code. I do have photographs that were taken on February 4th during the time when we did the patrol of the canals and looked at the backs of all the properties. I introduced this photo into evidence.
Reviewing photographs submitted dated 2/4/2014, and from February, have you had any contact with the homeowners?
Had no contact, and then on May 31st, the police department, Marine Patrol went out and checked a series of addresses that I gave them for non-compliant property addresses, and they found that this property address is still out of compliance as of that date. So this is a new case, and the city is seeking an initial adjudication and abatement date.
All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find in favor of the city. I find that the violation does exist. I find given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. I will impose a daily fine amount of $25 per day with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next case on the agenda is item number 8, Anita Jones, Officer Alan Graham. The permit number CEWRA 2014-00034.
For the record, Alan Graham, North Miami Police Department Code Enforcement Unit. I have an affidavit of service for the notice to appear for tonight's hearing, which is posted at the property on May 24, 2014 at 11:03 a.m.
Reviewing the affidavit of service dated 5/24/14.
On February 14th, I cited the property at 1980 Northeast 118 Road for violation of City Code Section 519B3 for failure to affix the property address numbers at the rear of the house facing the canal as required by City Code. Property is owned by Anita Jones, ownership determined by a check of the Dade County property records. During the Marine Patrol sweep of the canals, we noticed this particular house did not have any property address numbers at the rear of the house. There are a couple of photographs taken by the Marine Patrol officer at the time. The photos were taken on February 4th, 2014. I'd like to introduce these photos into evidence.
Reviewing photographs that were taken on 2/4/2014.
The house appears to be under some remodeling and interior and exterior construction. It is possible that the property owners will affix the numbers in the future at some future date. But to ensure that the numbers are put on the canal, the city is seeking adjudication in this particular case, which is a new case. And the Marine Patrol officer on May 31st did not find any numbers on the canal. And that was the last time we had contact with the property. We've had no contact with Ms. Jones.
All right, based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find in favor of the city. I find that the violation does exist. I find given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 per day with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
Next case is item number 13, Carlos Rios, Alan Graham is the officer, CEWR 2014-00039.
Alan Graham for the City, North Miami Police Department Code Enforcement Unit. I have an affidavit of service for this case for the posting of the notice to appear, which was done so on May 24, 2014 at 11 a.m.
Reviewing affidavit of service dated 5/24/14.
On February 14th, I issued a notice of violation to the property at 1937 Northeast 119th Road for violation of Section 5-19B3 for failure to affix the property address number to the rear of the house facing the canal. On February 4th, during a sweep of the canals, the code officer on the police boat noticed that did not find the house address numbers and took a photo of the dock and the rear of the house, which I introduce into evidence at this time.
Reviewing photograph taken on 2/4/2014.
Okay. On May 31st, the Marine Patrol officer did a sweep of the canals again, looking for properties that were not in compliance. And when the officer went by this house, they noticed that no numbers were affixed after having received this notice violation. So the city is seeking adjudication at this time in order to ensure compliance.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find in favor of the city. I find a violation does exist. I find given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014. Sorry.
Next case is Sear Jack LLC. Edmund Fitzel is the officer. Case number CEPFY 2014-00067.
Edmund Fitzel, City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This case was already heard. As of today, there is no compliance. This property was given proper notice. It was notice to appear was mailed out on May 20th. The property was posted with notice to appear on May 19th. Affidavit of service was filed. As this is a non-homesteaded property, as of today, the vehicles are still parking on the front yard per 29-5-1401 F2. All the letters to the property, registered letters, have come back. Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that concluded your testimony. All right, based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violations still exist. I find good notice. The daily fine amount of $25 is hereby ratified.
The next case is David Wilkins, Officer Alan Graham, case number CEWR 8/2014-00072, item number 22 on the agenda.
Okay. Your Honor, Alan Graham, City of North Miami. I have been sworn. Police Department Code Enforcement Unit. I have an affidavit of service for the property located at 2152 Northeast 122nd Road. Served with a notice to appear for tonight's hearing, and this was posted at the property on May 24, 2014 at 11:43 a.m.
Affidavit of service dated 5/24/14.
This is a new case on February 14, 2014. I cited the property at 2152 Northeast 122nd Road. The property is owned by David and Phyllis Wilkins, ownership determined by a check of the Dade County property records. The property was inspected on and photographed on February 11, 2014 by a Marine Patrol officer and code enforcement officer, and we found that there were no numbers facing the rear of the house facing the canals in violation of section 5-19B3 of City Code. I have a photograph to introduce in evidence at this time.
Reviewing photograph dated 2/11/2014.
On May 31st, Marine Patrol officer inspected a list of properties that had not been in compliance. This was one of those properties that is still out of compliance. Therefore, the city is seeking an adjudication in this case to ensure compliance.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next case is item number 23, Daisy Valdez. Alan Graham is the officer. The case number CEWRA 2014-00041.
Alan Graham, North Miami Police Department Code Enforcement. I have been sworn. I have an affidavit of service for the notice to appear that was posted at the property on May 24th, 2014 at 10:53 a.m.
Affidavit of service dated 5/24/14.
Your Honor, on February 14, 2014, I cited the property in 1950 Northeast 119 Road for violation of Section 5-19B3 of City Code for failure to fix the property address numbers at the rear of the house facing the canal. On February 4th, during the Marine Patrol sweep of the canals, we took photographs of the rear of the house, which I introduce into evidence at this time.
Reviewing photograph taken on 2/4/2014.
On May 31st, a Marine Patrol officer did a sweep of the canals with the list I provided for those properties that were not in compliance. And this property is still not in compliance. We're asking for adjudication at this time to ensure that compliance with city codes.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next case is item number 30. Shanna Saunders is the officer. Ezra Wagon, CEFAW 2014-00013.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case for a fence and a wall that appears to be down. It was initially cited on March 13th. Left a courtesy letter on the door, went back April 6th, sent the letter, went back again April 20th, May 13th. No contact has been made. No one has made any calls or anything to me. As of today, the violation still remains. I am showing that this is a non-homesteaded property with no visible life safety issues. Proper service has been given. In my absence, Officer Christie posted the property on May 20th at 1:36. I have pictures of the violation if you would like to see.
Yes, please. Okay. Reviewing photographs taken on 6/4/14. All right.
Seeing that the fence has been down since March 13th and no contact has been made to me, the city is wishing to go ahead and adjudicate the case.
Given the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find given proper notice, the homeowners have failed to appear. I find in favor of the city. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 per day with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next case is item number 32. Monica Frederick is the officer. Felix Perez, CEFAW 2014-00024.
Good evening, Your Honor. City of North Miami, Code Officer Monica Frederick. The violation was issued for a CEFAW. The fence on the property is rusted and discolored. A violation was issued to the property owner on April 22nd. I received no compliance. After that, after receiving no compliance, I sent the case over to the board. I have pictures of the property.
Okay.
Proper notice of the notice to appear was sent out on May the 16th. And I did not receive no green card, as well as the letter sent back to the office.
All right. I'm reviewing photographs taken on 6/3/2014. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next case is item number 36. Garth Reeves. Alan Graham is the officer. CEWRA 2014-00056.
Alan Graham, North Miami Police Department. I have been sworn. I have an affidavit of service for notice to appear for this evening's hearing, which was posted to the property on May 24, 2014, 11:34 a.m.
Reviewing the affidavit of service dated 5/24/14.
On February 14, 2014, I sighted the property at 2082 Northeast 121 Road. The property is owned by Garth Reeves, trustee. Ownership determined by check with the Dade County property records. I cited the property for violation of City Code Section 5-19B3 for failure to affix the property address numbers to the rear of the house facing the canal. On February 11th, a Marine Patrol and Code Enforcement officer were out, and they viewed the back of the house and the seawall, noting no address numbers. They took photos, which I will introduce at this time.
Reviewing photographs taken on 2/11/2014.
On May 31st, the Marine Patrol officer inspected the canals again with the list that I provided of those properties that were out of compliance. This was one of those properties. The city is seeking adjudication tonight to ensure that the property owner will comply with city codes.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. I find given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next case is item number 38, Gritel Costa. Shanna Sanders is the officer, CEPFY 2014-00059.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. As already stated, this is a case for a parking of a vehicle on the front lawn. This was originally cited on March 11th, leaving a notice of violation on the door. Haven't had any contact. I went back again March 24th, again on April 9th, and on April 23rd. Haven't had any contact with anyone at the property. As of today, the vehicle still remains. I am showing that it is a non-homesteaded property with no visible life safety issues. Proper service has been given. Certified mailing was mailed out on May 20th, and the notice to appear was posted on the property on that same day, May 20th. I do have pictures if you would like to see.
Yes, please. Reviewing photographs. When were they taken?
I'm sorry?
When were these pictures taken?
They were taken actually this morning, roughly about 11, between 11 and 11:30.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. I find given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $50 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next case is item number 39, Irvin, Denmark. Monica Frederick is the officer, CELSC 2014-00004.
Good evening, Your Honor. Code Officer Monica Frederick with the City of North Miami. This is a landscaping violation that was pointed out to me by Sergeant Blanchard. I went out to the property and found that the hedges over the entrance of the property, you can't see the entrance of the property from the street. So if you were to drive by, you would just think that it's just all trees and bushes. So he asked that a violation be cited to the property to have the hedges cut back, as well as the swell area and the side of the property ought to be cut back because of the trees in the area. A violation was issued on April 17th. There was no compliance. I generated a mow order. A mow order went out to the property, but still it wasn't cut back to the liking of Sergeant Blanchard. So it did not comply. I have pictures. Proper notice was sent out to the Denmark property as well as to Lawrence Denmark, which is the son of Irvin Denmark.
Speak up.
I said proper notice was delivered to the property as well as Lawrence Denmark, who is the son of Irvin Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
And no green card as well as letter was sent back to the office.
All right. I'm a little reluctant about doing an adjudication on this case because I would have rather you tell me whether or not this person is still in violation, as other than, he didn't do it well enough to the liking of Officer Blanchard.
I mean, it's not more so to the liking, but the fact is that we can't see the front of the property due to the fact that there's so much trees and so much shrubs, and because it's like you can't see, it becomes a hiding place for vagrants to come and sleep in the front of the property.
Okay, well, that's much better. Now, I'm reviewing the photographs. I can actually see that it is blocking the property. I can barely see. Is this the entrance to the property?
The top left
Here
and the bottom
and
right.
here.
Yes,
This
those are
is the entrance to the property,
yes,
which I can't see
yes,
based on the photographs that were taken.
yes,
So I'm seeing that as a violation.
yes.
Okay, but that's not how you presented it to me.
Okay, I apologize.
So it is definitely a violation because I can't see the entrance. I can't even see the house. I can barely.
It's not. It's a business. It's not a
It's
house.
Well, I can barely see the business. I can't really see the property because of all the trees and the shrubbery. Based on your testimony and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I find that given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $50 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next case is item number 40, Isaac Bichachi. Alan Graham is the officer. Case number CEEXP 2014-00064. No, I'm going by order.
Alan Graham, North Miami Police Department, have been sworn. This case has already been presented and adjudicated at the last hearing on May 7th. This was a violation to pressure clean and paint the roof of the house. I have a affidavit of service to present for the notice to appear that was posted at the property on May 21st at 1:45 p.m.
Reviewing an affidavit of service dated 5/21/14.
I drove by the property yesterday. There's been no compliance. I've had no contact with the property owner on all the times I've been out there. Therefore, having no compliance and having this case cited back on April 2014, and seeing that this was an old case that was a recitation of another case from 2013 and no compliance since then, the city is seeking that a fine be imposed at this time, the fine be ratified not to exceed $50 a day.
All right, based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violations still exist. I find that given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. The daily fine amount of $50 is hereby ratified.
The next case is item number 41, Islan Revlus. Monica Frederick is the officer. Case number CEIVY 2014-00090.
Good evening, Your Honor. City of North Miami Code Officer Frederick. This is for a IVY of a white van that is on the property with flat tires. A violation notice was sent out to the property on April the 22nd. I received no compliance. I have pictures.
I'm reviewing photographs taken on 6/3/2014.
Proper notice was sent out to the property owner for the notice to appear on May 20th, 2014. And no green card and no letter was received back from the property owner.
All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. I find given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
Item number 45, Jean Van Cole, Wayne Clark is the officer, CEODS 2014-00071.
Wayne Clark, City of North Miami Code Compliance. This was a case in reference to outdoor. This is a case in reference to outdoor storage. I did render proper service. The property was posted on May 20th, 2014. The tenants are aware it's a multi-family duplex unit, and I believe it's a 1533 is storing all type of items on the front porch. They was sent a letter in reference to it, no response. And since then, it seems as though more stuff has been stored on the front porch. I'd like to submit the photo for the record.
All right. Reviewing photograph taken on 6/9/2014. I can see it. The item stored. Got it. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. I find given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
Item number 46, Jean Van Cole, Wayne Clark is the officer, CESOD 2014-00002.
Wayne Clark, City of North Miami Code Compliance. This is the same property that was cited for sod. This was a prior case. On May 20th, it was posted with a notice to appear. They are aware of the hearing. We do have proper service. I'd like to submit the current photo for the record showing that no new sod has been placed on the property grounds.
I don't remember if you did it this time around. Okay, you have a lot of pictures. All right, I'm reviewing a photo array. All right, going back to February. Okay. All right, February, March, April, and May. All right. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. I find given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
There was a fine already set on that case.
Huh?
There was a fine already set on that case.
I'm looking at it, and then I still said adjudication. The matter was already adjudicated, so I will ratify the daily fine amount of $50.
Next case, item number 53, John F. Jelke, Monica Frederick is the officer. The case number is CEBMP 2013-00033.
Good evening, Your Honor. City of North Miami Code Officer Frederick. This case was originally for former officer Ivy Kirsten. It was for a BMP at the Bayshore property. It's for the interior of the property. However, I had no access into going inside the property because no one was home. I have a picture showing that I did go out to the property. This case is a case that had been adjudicated.
It was adjudicated back in 2013.
Yes. The fine was set at $100 a day.
Correct. It's beautiful. So no permit, is that?
No permit is
No
in the-
permit exists at this
No.
point from 2013 to this day. Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation still exists. I find given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. This matter was adjudicated back in July 3rd, 2013. I hereby ratify. Okay, that's what's happened. We don't have an amount.
I'll tell you right now. The amount was,
Not for this case.
no, there is no amount. This was never fined before. There was no fine set for this case.
Okay, then we'll set it at $100 per day.
The next case is item number 61, Ketchler St. Hilaire. Edmund Fitzel is the officer, CEIVY 2014-00024.
Can I go back to the case that we just,
Yes?
interesting. That's true. It was on
John
the
F.
second
Shelkey,
page.
Number 53.
Okay. Yes, so we will ratify, well, I guess I was correct on the amount. We'll ratify the daily fine amount of $100 per day.
Yes. So we're now on item number 61. We're on item number 61 now. Edmund Fitzel is the officer, Ketchler St. Hilaire.
Edmund Fitzel, City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This property was originally cited back on January 28th, 2014. This property was cited under 1019A for an inoperable vehicle. This vehicle sits on the property for several months now with a flat tire, no tag. Property had proper service. It was mailed notice to appear on May 20th. On May 19th, the property was posted with the notice to appear at 12:18 p.m. Affidavit of service was filed. Return receipt was received with no date, and the signature was illegible. I will submit the photos.
Thank you. Review and photograph taken on this day, 6/4/14. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. I hereby find in favor of the city. I impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next item is number 64. Monica Frederick is the officer. Lemaire Dulcio, case number CEIVY 2014-00057.
Good evening, Your Honor. City of North Miami Code Officer Frederick. This violation was issued for an IVY. They have a black Honda placed on the property without a tag on it. A violation was issued. The violation was issued on May 17th. A former employee that was in the office stated that she knew it was a city employee and that we should hold off a bit. So another 10 days was given to the property owner and still had not reached any compliance. I have a photo of the vehicle that still remains on the property.
This photograph was taken on 6/3/2014.
Proper notice was sent out to the property owner, and a green card was received back to the city on May 30th, 2014.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I find that given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next case is item number 69, Vidal and Christie, Maria Dolph, CEEXP 2014-00019.
Vidal and Christie, Code Compliance, City of North Miami Police Department. This case has been heard prior. It's in regards to the painting of the property. I did make contact with the property owner in regards to painting. She stated that she would be taking care of the painting of the buildings. However, she has not completed the job to date, and I do have pictures for the record.
Reviewing photographs taken by the code enforcement officer on this day, 6/4/2014. And based on the unrebutted testimony and evidence presented by the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation still exists. I find that given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. This matter was previously adjudicated. I hereby ratify the daily fine amount of $25.
The next case is item number 81, Patrick Eustache, Vidal and Christie's the officer, CEFAW 2014-00002.
Officer Christie, City of North Miami Code Compliance. This is a new case in regards to the fence or exterior walls at the property. Notice was mailed to the, certified mail was sent to the property on the 20th of May, and notice to appear posted also on the 20th. For this hearing, green card was signed and returned, and as of today's photos, there's been no changes.
All right, reviewing photographs taken on this day by the code enforcement officer. All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violations does exist. I find given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $50 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next case is item number 82, Alan Graham is the officer, Rachel Reeves, CEWRA 2014-00048.
Alan Graham, North Miami Police Department. I have been sworn. I have an affidavit of service for the notice to appear for tonight's hearing that I was posted on the property on May 24, 2014 at 11:12 a.m.
Reviewing affidavit of service dated 5/24/14.
On February 14, 2014, I cited the property at 2082 Northeast 120 Road with a violation of Section 5-19B3 for failure to fix the property address numbers to the rear of the house facing the canal. The property is owned by Rachel Reeves. Ownership determined by a review of the Dade County property records. On February 11th, Marine Patrol and Code Enforcement Officer viewed the property from the canal and took a photograph of same, which I present as evidence at this time.
Photograph dated 2/11/2014.
On May 31st, the Marine Patrol officer reviewed the properties on the canal based on a list I gave him. The properties were out of compliance. This property was one that was out of compliance on that date. At this time, the city is requesting an adjudication on this new case to ensure that the property owner does come in compliance with city code.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. I find given good notice, the owner has failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next case is item number 83. Monica Frederick is the officer. Rafael de la Rosa, CEFAW 2014-00026.
Good evening, Your Honor. City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer Frederick. This violation is for an FAW. The resident has a concrete wall acting as a gate. It is not painted. It is of concrete color, I guess. A citation was issued to the property on April 24th, 2014, and they failed to comply. I have pictures.
Reviewing photographs taken on 6/3/2014.
Proper notice was given to the resident of a notice to appear. No receipt was mailed back to the city as well as the letter.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I find given good notice, the owners have failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
The next case is item number 94. Timothy Gerald Lazarus. Shanna Saunders is the officer. CEEXP 2013-00177.
It's Shanna Sanders. There's no you in my last name.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
I apologize.
We've been here long. I gotta
I'm
make right of it.
tired.
I'm funny. I'm being funny. Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is the case of report of previous compliance. Just to give you a refresher, this is a case about the exterior of the property. The gentleman that had the black siding on the exterior of the walls. As of today, I did ride by the property. He has made much progress. I'm surprised that he's not here.
I am too.
Because he usually is here at every other hearing. He did see me today because it was starting to rain as I was trying to quickly take pictures. I do have updated photos if you would like to see. He has repaired. I wouldn't say he hasn't stuccoed as of yet, but he has completed the siding in order to put the stucco on the walls. But if you would like to see the updated photos and make your own judgment, you can. But I do want to stress on the record, he has made a lot of progress from what was originally cited for. Proper service was given. I am showing certified mailing was mailed out on the 20th, and the notice to appear was posted at the property the same day on the 20th.
Okay.
So as you're looking at the photos, as you see, he's already replaced all the wood around the fascia boards, and then on the outside of the door, he removed that old black sheeting and replaced it with some other black type of material. And he's per our conversation, he stated that's what you put on before you put on either the wood decking or the stucco for the exterior walls.
Okay.
But as you see, he still needs a little bit more work, but it has come a long way.
Right. Okay. Slowly.
Yeah, it is very
slowly.
slow.
But surely he's making some progress, and I'm surprised he's not here, like you said, because he's usually here. So what do you want us to do here?
Honestly, we've been bringing him back almost every month. I'm okay with giving him an additional 30. If not, even I'll be bold enough to say 60 days because now we're approaching the rainy season. So it may take him a little time, and I do see, work is being done, but I'll leave that up to you. But either 30 or 60 days, I'm okay with.
All right. I kind of remember, just let's put a little fire under his feet so that he knows he has to come in every 30 days. That would motivate him to
I don't
get
have
the
a
work
problem
done a
with
little
that.
faster. So
Okay.
let's table it for 30 days.
The next case is item number 97, Wells Fargo Bank, Vita Lynn Christie's the officer, CEEXP 2014-00027.
Vita Lynn Christie, Code Compliance, City of North Miami Police Department. This is a case that was previously heard. There has been no changes to the property. Certified mail was sent out to the property for this hearing and was returned signed. Property was posted on May 21st with the notice to appear, and there has been absolutely no changes at the property. I do have pictures for the record.
Yes, please. All right, this one was taken on 4/6/2014. Huh?
Actually, I'm sorry. That one
Supposed to be
was taken
6/4.
Yes, I'm sorry. I reverted.
I was about to say, okay. All right, so it's in the same condition
No
as it
changes
was
at all.
as in February.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And,
And actually last month.
I'm sorry?
So I have a few other pictures prior, so
Okay.
they.
Well, they removed the tarp,
and
right?
put
They removed the blue tarp. And I guess, all right, but no improvements, nothing. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violations still exist. I find given proper notice, the owner has failed to appear. The daily fine amount of $50 is hereby ratified.
The last case on the agenda, item number 79, Olga Alfonso. Monica Frederick is the officer, CERCV 2014-00005.
Lovely to see you again, Your Honor. Code Officer Frederick, City of North Miami. This violation is a repeating violation. I'm taking over for former Officer Ivy Kearson. It's for a recreational vehicle that is parked out front of the property. Ever since I started training with the city, this jet ski was placed in the front, and violations were sent to the property owner on March the 12th, 2014. I then failed it again for March the 28th, 2014, and no compliance was made. I have pictures to show that the jet ski is still in the remaining spot that it was since I started.
All right, reviewing photographs that were taken on this day, 6/4/2014.
Proper notice was sent out to the violation owner of today's hearing. A notice to appear was sent out on May 20th, 2014. No green card or letter was mailed back to the city.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. I find that given good notice, the owner has failed to appear. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 with an abatement date of July 1st, 2014.
And that concludes our agenda.
So adjourned. Thank you.